Hi, Mr. Diot, Mr. Egan. You fellows are my representatives here, being in Edmonton, Griesbach area, provincially and federally. So this is just a little pitch video for the Alberta Free Energy Association, the AFEA. You guys are going to hear a lot about us. I'm writing or sending this video to you because it's a lot to type and I can just put it in an email and that's just as good. Speaking with your offices, apparently that was the best way to do it. Originally, I had my little sign. I had my chair and I went down and on Sunday sat on a hunger strike. Hunger strike. I've done it before, but I sat on a hunger strike out in front of the legislature building with my little free energy sign, talking to anybody that was coming by. Everyone thinks it's kind of a good idea. Until about 2 in the morning when it was empty, I introduced myself to the security guards there, and they thought it was a great idea. They said I could sit there as long as I want. So it was just kind of me and the ledge building. It's all nicely lit up at night. Just sitting there looking at it and pacing back and forth in front of there, sitting in my chair on a hunger strike. No one's around. And I got to thinking, well, I know it's a great idea, but what I'm probably doing is not very much. So I had to swallow my pride there a little bit and decide that this probably isn't the best use of time for myself or for the Alberta Free Energy Association. And as stubborn as I am, I packed myself up and packed up my water and my supplies, my little backpack that I had, and left. I left the chair there in front of the ledge just because anyone that's kind of has trouble with mobility and stuff like that, those benches, they all fill up. So I just consider it a chair that's donated. I'm sure it's all on camera. Anyway, I decided that it would be better just to go the traditional route, and that's through my MPs, as hard as it is to get a hold of them. And so that's what I'm doing. We're called the Alberta Free Energy Association. I'm going to walk you through our concept right from the start, just so that you can kind of see. Our mandate is to explore geothermal here in Alberta. And if you've heard of geothermal, like a lot of people have worldwide, you look at a country like Iceland, people sort of assume that geothermal energy, to make it viable, you need to have volcanic activity really close to the surface. Iceland has that. They've got a lot of geysers, a lot of volcanic activity. And basically what they do is they take the steam that comes naturally from the ground and the heat that naturally comes from the ground. They set a turbine on it, and essentially it's just a steam turbine. It rotates some stuff with some magnets on it, and boom, you have electricity. It's like a steam engine. Now, people have traditionally thought that you need to have this activity close to the surface in order to generate this kind of electricity. But here in Alberta, that's not the case. We've got a unique set of circumstances here that make it so that we can do geothermal right here in Alberta right now. And those circumstances are sort of threefold. Number one, we've got materials that are better than water in terms of their boiling point now. We've got things like glycol. There's scientists that have other materials that boil at a lower temperature. So that being said, we don't need to rely on steam coming from the ground anymore in order to turn a turbine. We could have a totally enclosed pipe that contains whatever material that we want to contain, whatever boils the best. Stick that pipe in the ground far enough that the natural heat in the ground causes it to boil, and then the steam that comes up turns a turbine. We recapture it, and then as it condenses, we just let it flow back down into the pipe in the ground. It's as easy as that. The great thing is that here in Alberta, because our winters are so cold, the temperature differential between the air and down below the surface where we need to go to be warm enough to boil whatever material that it is that we're boiling. The fact that it gets so cold here actually makes our turbines more efficient in that it condenses sooner, falls back sooner, we don't need as much material, etc., etc. Now we happen to have all these holes in the ground. This is number 2. We happen to have all these holes in the ground already, abandoned frac wells, where we're drilling for oil, where we're exploring for oil, for example. All these holes that some of the best pipe fitters and drillers, and the best pipe fitters and drillers in the world have put there for us. And all that we need to do is stick a pipe in there and fill it with some stuff and put a turbine on it. Now, number 3, something that's never been done before, not even in Iceland, and why Alberta has a pretty unique environment for this, is that we've got a lot of silty ionic soil here. So there's no reason why we can't, with the pipes that we're putting in the ground, that we're setting our turbines on and producing electricity, there's no reason why we can't use pipes of differing metals as an anode and a cathode, and use the ground in between as a giant DC battery. I know that in the electrical trade, I do a lot of petroleum electrical, or I did until I retired as an electrician 2 weeks ago. But in the trade, one thing that we have to do is called cathodic protection. And that is grounding off the pipes, because naturally the pipes disintegrate, travel from, say, steel to copper piping that's in the ground. And we need to bleed off that direct current. We need to bleed off that DC current so that the pipes don't go. We use that to our advantage. We could be mining for DC current. We use it to run things like LED lights, electric vehicle charging stations. We could use it for the DC portions of our synchronous generators. You can see I did a thing on synchronous motors here on the AFE website earlier. Basically, we'd have AC and DC power coming out of the ground for nothing, for free, with no environmental impact whatsoever. Why not, right? What else? Yeah, that's never been done, that DC mining. Now, large scale, the concept of the Alberta Free Energy Association is that we partner up with the area like Fort McMurray or northern Saskatchewan, where they're already drilling for oil, where there's a lot of equipment, there's a lot of camps, there's a lot of infrastructure equipment that's already being fed by coal-fired power plants or hydroelectric plants or solar and wind, however efficient we're actually doing that stuff. However they're getting their electricity, they're an energy sink. Our concept is to turn these areas into dual purpose areas where not only are they drilling for oil, but they're also using the same equipment that's there and drilling for a temperature differential. We'll use, say, our decommissioned coal plants. We can put the people to work in these towns that were decommissioning these coal plants. They've worked in these facilities their whole lives. We can decommission them, refurbish them, upgrade them, take them apart, move them up large scale, and set them in these areas where they can not only be self-sustaining for their own energy grid, but they can also backfeed the grid just by putting a transfer station up there. My point is that we already have the infrastructure. We already have the actual wiring that's going up there. So which side is the supply end and which side is the load end really doesn't matter. And it's a great time to be doing this because we're here in Alberta, we're sort of renegotiating the stipulations of our electrical infrastructure contracts. So with the interest of disclosure, we'd be remiss if we weren't taking this project on and informing the unions and the management of the existing electrical companies that are kind of fighting it out with the government right now, that this is our plan, because it's something that they might want to get involved in. We don't hear about geothermal because it's the expectation. I know this because I went down to our government procurement office. It's their expectation. Oh, hi, Jillian. She's the administrator at our procurement office, one of them downtown. and she's amazing. She kind of pointed me in the right direction of people to talk to and stuff like that. Anyone that has ever worked in an office knows that it's the administrative staff that you need to talk to rather than the bosses. They don't know what's going on. They just get on camera and say whatever it is that the people that actually do the work want them to say. But anyway, Jillian was great, and it's sort of the expectation of the procurement committees that you have all the nuts and bolts of a project kind of put together before it goes out into tender, which is sort of a self-defeating thing, because any organization that wants to get off the ground, all of a sudden they have to have a plan for how they're going to tie in the infrastructure. They have to have a plan for funding. They need to have a plan for labor contracts. They need land ownership titles. They have to have all these ducks in a row before they can even propose to the government to get any grant money. And they don't know who they're competing with, and they've got to keep their costs down and all this stuff. Why don't we get the government involved in the actual research and development of these kinds of projects rather than just contracting them out? That way people can have help during the process instead of just the product. And that's the trouble that I've been having in trying to get this initiative off the ground, is that it deals with the energy sector and the environmental sector and land sector and First Nations and all of these different departments that just keep shuffling me from one place to another when no one wants to hear the comprehensive idea. So that's why I got to go to our MLAs. Hi guys, you know how to do this best. So how are we going to get this project off the ground? We're going to start a website, and the website is going to be really cool. First off, it's going to be full disclosure. We have to build it. It's never been done before. The full disclosure part is going to be all the money that we can raise is going to go right up on the screen, who it's from, etc., 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 times, dates, the whole thing. It's going to be live streaming accounting, which has never been done before. Can you imagine how nice it would be if you gave $50 to the Canadian Cancer Society, and then you'd be able to go online, click Canadian Cancer Society, and see where all their money is going, what they're developing, what their initiatives are, what their administrative costs are, what their legal fees are, what their fundraising costs are. All of it just right up there on a website, and you know where your money's going. That's why we're going to be able to raise so much here in Alberta, is because any investor is going to be able to look and see. They're not going to get a quarterly report like an investment firm typically does. They're not going to see projections going off like on pie charts and stuff like that. They're going to be able to look and see it ticking. Remember for the national deficit, how they used to put it up in the malls, the scrolling of the debt, the interest on the debt as it sort of accrued. That's sort of the concept that we're going to have, and it's really powerful because real-time information is always the best. Not to mention the fact that that's going to insulate us from any competitors who decide that we may not have the integrity or the honesty or the initiative. It's total insulation, and this is the thing about full disclosure, is that it's protection. It's not something to be scared of. So that's going to be one thing. We're going to have a board of directors for our organization. Our board of directors, the meetings of the board are all going to be televised, just like they do with the St. Albert Council meetings. Why don't they do that in Edmonton? But the St. Albert City Council meetings, they just televise all of their meetings, all of their motions and everything like that. And we'll do the same thing, except rather than rely on public television to broadcast it, we're going to do it right on our website. We're also going to have forums for debate. We're going to have forums for people to pitch their products, their initiatives, their green energy initiatives, that we can take the money that we've raised by these investors and partner them up and put it right through and put it up on our website, what we've done. And we're not buying or selling anything. All that we're going to have is the endorsement of the Alberta Free Energy System. Well, what does that mean? That comes down to our board of directors, which is going to be 6 youth. 25 and under is defined by the Canadian government, youth. We'd like to have a couple of elementary school kids on there, or school age kids. David Egan, you're the education ministry. You can probably sort that kind of stuff out, how that can work without us breaking any laws. 6 kids, 6 youth, 2 adults. We started out with 1, but then I decided it should be a male and a female probably on our board. I'm running for the board that doesn't exist yet, for the male portion of that. Anyone else is welcome to run against me. I'm probably going to step aside once we're up, and I will step aside once we're up and self-governing, and someone else can run for that spot. And 1 female, age 26 to 64, and then we're going to have 6 seniors, 65 and up. While the kids are saving the world, they're going to need cookies, and not to mention a little temperament and stuff like that. The great thing is that on our televised board meetings, any initiatives or any decisions that are not unanimous amongst the whole board are going to go right to a vote, and that vote is going to be restricted to Alberta Free Energy Association members, and that's for no fee. Welcome to anyone in Alberta. You'll get a registration number, proof of address, or whatever. I don't know. I'm a concept guy. We'll sort that out. We'll probably use some existing lists or something like that, or have some sort of privacy stipulation in the website. That's going to get built for us anyway. It's a custom built website, so cryptographically we'll have to ensure everyone's privacy with that. But the point is that kids will be able to vote, people will be able to vote, seniors will be able to vote, but only people in Alberta. Any motions that are not unanimously approved by the board are going to go straight to an online referendum. People will be able to put yes, no, maybe we'll leave it up for a week or whatever. Whoever has more votes at the end of it, that's the way it is. So there's no reason why we can vote for an American Idol, but we can't get a referendum in this country to change the voting rights and regulations and territories and stuff. Like, why don't we have referendums on everything? We can do it. We will do it. So that's on the website. We're also going to have an international page on the website for people outside of Canada and even outside of Alberta, because we're restricted to Alberta in terms of our mandate, to pitch their ideas of support, fundraising efforts, parallel initiatives that they're doing for geothermal or other green technologies that we can maybe partner up with them. Basically, we'll start it, and then we'll be able to link up internationally and nationally with other organizations that are doing the same thing, that fall in line with our integrity, with our honesty, and with our full disclosure initiative. What else? What are we asking for from the government? That's a good question. That's what you need to know. $1.5 million. That's what we're asking for. $1 million of that is going to be for development of the website. We figure that the fastest, best way to do it is to put a $1 million tender out to any company. We'd love to see it based out of here in Alberta, but we can't wait. Whether it's Google, Apple, some young startup in Seattle, whatever. We're going to take that $1 million that we're asking for from the government. We're going to put it up as sort of a bounty, I guess, on developing this website. Once we have that $1 million, we'll maybe give 30 days or something where it's out for tender, where people will be able to pitch their website is on the Facebook Alberta Free Energy Association page. They'll be able to just put up a link to their website. We'll wait for all the websites to come in. We'll check them out. We'll see how they interact, whether they're going to work for our purposes. We'll get in touch with the developers of the website for refinements as they go along, so that they don't need to put out their finished product, is what I'm saying. And we'll work with them to develop the best product that they can throughout the process. And then at the end of it, we'll pick a website. We'll have an online vote. We'll make use of the Facebook's polling app. We'll vote which website is best for our mandate. We'll pick that one, and then we're up and running. The $500,000 is going to be for operating expenses for us until we get the website up. We're going to have to contract out law and accounting firms so that the development of the website is legal here in Alberta. We're going to need to pay a wage for administrative staff, for office space as it grows. Right now, it's just me in my basement. I mean, that's our staff. But in order to insulate myself from having any conflicts of interest with that money, all records of my time, even since I've started, I've been recording every conversation that I've had with people. Just it's nice with the phone, right? I've been recording my conversations, accounting for my time with my location app. It'll show where I've been, just so that I'm not sitting here at home drinking non-alcoholic beer and waiting for money. So I have confidence that I've been accountable up to this point. I'll continue to be so until we get our website up and going. And like I say, I'll still be reporting my daily activities on Facebook, my comings and goings, the big things of the day, just so that members of our association are comfortable with the fact that I'm doing everything that I can to try and get this running. That being said, that $500,000 isn't necessary, because I'd also be willing, if the government's willing to partner up with me while I get this running, to start a geothermal task force. Maybe just give me an office in the corner of the legislature. I got a chair down there already. Put me up there in a corner with the Rolodexes, people I can sit in an office and contact and try and get this flying within the government. If that's not possible through whatever laws that we have that make it so that a great idea can't get off the ground, then I'll go elsewhere. Even that $1.5 million from the government isn't necessary, because I'll be able to raise it from any environmental public interest group. I can go out of the province, I can go to corporate, I can go all over the place and raise that money. But I would like it, and the Alberta Free Energy Association members would like it, since we're trying to unify ourselves under this initiative here as Albertans, whether you're a kid, whether you're a Wild Rose member, whether you're the Premier of Alberta. Hi, Ms. Malcolm. One person, one vote, one initiative, and we can get this going if we just stop shuffling each other around with a good idea. You guys are going to have some problems with this, obviously, because it's never been done before. Politically here in Alberta, I know that the Conservatives are trying to unite the right, but aside from that, we've got left versus right problems, province versus province political agendas that have different interests. We've got Canada's place in the United Nations and what we're doing globally to try and bring our carbon footprint down and meet our targets. And that's good, because the Alberta Free Energy Association is willing to work with any political, corporate parties that are into developing geothermal and helping us do it here in Alberta. You're probably going to have trouble with honesty and integrity and longevity of this project, and that's good too. It's good that you'd be concerned about that. That's why we're protecting all of our investments, interests, and reputations with our full disclosure concept. You're probably concerned about viability, and that's good, because so are we. That's why we've allowed ourselves wiggle room to not even have to rely on our provincial or federal governments to get this off the ground. We'd love it. It'd be great for you guys. It'd be great for us, but we can't wait. I mean, it's our planet. So our viability is not incumbent on raising any money. More than anything, we're just keeping you in the loop and hoping that you'll partner up with us instead. You're gonna have trouble with well, not trouble, but it's going to be a concern of yours, First Nations concerns. That's good too, because our first pilot project, what we would like to do is develop geothermal on a reservation that has some deplorable electrical infrastructure, no power out there right now. I know that we've been trying to get that done politically and with the interest of the First Nations. We'd like to partner up with any First Nations community that feels that they have an electrical infrastructure problem, allow us to use a portion of their land to help them become self-sustaining just within their community so that no infrastructure needs to be built to get out there and get them the electricity that they need. You're going to have concerns with education. That's good. That's why we're empowering kids with a voice on the board. Has anyone ever done that before? I don't think so. I mean, what can be more educational than empowering kids to know that their creative ideas and solutions actually have a difference and a voice and a tangible result that can go from idea to action in one hour board meeting. Concerned about the oil industry. That's good. That's why we'd like to partner up with them to dual purpose their equipment that they have there already. We're already drilling holes. They already need power out there. They're renting generators all the time. How about we have a pilot project with an oil company who's got a well that they're working at, and we try and just see if they can do it without a generator on one little drilling rig to get started. How could that not work for them? Not to mention, we're trying to get Energy East done. They're going to need LED lights. They're going to need electrical equipment throughout the course of that pipeline. What if, as we built it, we could use geothermal to power the thing all the way along? You can be concerned about environmental groups, and that's good because we're proposing a 100% environmentally friendly, totally sustainable, totally reliable energy source right here in Canada. Who can't get on board with that? Not to mention the fact that rather than just say oil sands shut down, how about we fix them? Eventually, we might be in a position, if we develop this properly, to leave that oil in the ground, which is exactly the mandate that they want anyway, and not have to abandon all the equipment that we have up there, all the infrastructure that we have up there already. What if we left that oil in the ground and just mine for a temperature differential instead of oil instead? Concerned about the economy. That's good. So are we. That's why we want to keep the staff from our decommissioned coal plants. The people that our government is concerned about putting out of work. That's why we'd like to keep them employed. Decommission the plants. Pay them a wage. Have them. They've worked in these places their whole lives, some of them. Why don't we use them to take those steam turbines that are in those coal plants right now and use them rather than just put them out of work on EI like I have to apply for since I'm not an electrician anymore. Be concerned about the press. That's good. So are we. That's why right since the start of the concept, I've got 2 press liaisons with much varying mandates in terms of the people that they report to demographically. One is Brian Lilly of Rebel Media. Hi, Brian. One is Jen Gerson of the National Post. Hi, Jen. You guys haven't got back to me, but I've been cutting you in on emails and stuff since the start. So maybe this will light a fire under your butt. Otherwise, I'll go somewhere else too. What else is there? Here are my notes. I think that's it. So that's my pitch. That's my pitch to you guys, to Albertans. If you want to just put in a carbon tax instead of going ahead with our plan, then obviously this is an environment that I won't be able to pull this off in. So maybe I'll just go to Saudi Arabia and pitch it to them and probably earn 10 times as much money. So get off your horses, get in touch with us. We're serious about this. Please. Oh, I forgot. One other thing. Arts and culture. Right since the start of this project, because we don't need to raise any money within Alberta, because we really have no expenses except for the website that we're going to develop, and the rest of our expenses will come with the initiatives that we take. But we've been able to get in touch with local musicians, local arts groups and stuff, and we're going to be able to leave them as fundraisers without having to raise any money. They're going to be in charge of fundraising. Because we're not asking for anything, we can just put the Alberta Free Energy Association endorsement, which is all that we really have at this point, on a benefit concert for whatever local artists want to do anything. I know that I love the Tragically Hip. It'd be great if the Tragically Hip could just give us a little tip of the hat saying we're going to do something good while they're on their last tour. Local musicians, Shelley Foss, Emily Ralt, out of Vancouver, Cobra Ramon, radio stations, all kinds of stuff. If you look back on our concept, raising awareness once we get this off the ground is going to be the easiest thing to do. But it's hard to raise awareness till you have a thing. It's tough to raise a thing till you raise awareness. So we're trying to do them all at the same time. So musicians, get on it. Do what you do. Make us all entertained. Love you guys.